Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be demonstrating how to get code to execute, just simple code to execute and manipulate elements within JavaFX, and just some of the errors that come with using the scene builder within IntelliJ and the controller.java. So if we go to our sample.fxml, this is just all default. I haven't changed anything. You have your main.java where you can edit your scenes, like the height or the width and the height of the program, as well as the like we can just rename this quickly, like tutoring, whatever, doesn't matter. That'll be the top of the window. But we don't have to worry about this too much unless you want to execute like code in this file. So we go to sample.fxml. You'll see fx controller equals sample.controller. If you happen to delete or want to use a different pane than the default one, what you're going to need to do is go back to the text form. You're going to copy this, and then whenever you delete this, whichever one you move in here, if you want code to execute on this, not that, I don't want pane within a pane, you're going to notice that it's missing, and you're going to need to paste this in to properly link the pane to the controller. So anyways, let's just go back, keep it simple, go back to the grid pane. Oh no, you just gotta click it once. So if we go back to the grid pane, yours will not start with a 2x3. What yours will start with is a 0, and you are able to add rows above and below from this right click. So you right click on grid pane, you go to grid pane under the pop-up menu, add row above. You just need to add 2 of them, and then it'll show up, and you can put elements into the pane, or into the grid of the pane. But anyways, so we go to controls, and we can go and select a button and drag it in, and it can fit into any of these. So we add our button, and we add our label. So now that we have drag and drop the 2 elements that we want to have interact with each other, we want to have this button on click affect the text of this label. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to go into label, and then under label we're going to go into code, and we're going to set its FX ID. This can be anything. It just has to be consistent between what we do next in the controller. So this label now has an FX ID of L1. So when we go in here, we're first going to start out by adding some important imports. So we're going to import JavaFX.event.actionEvent. We're going to import everything else should auto import, so we're not going to worry about that, especially if you're using IntelliJ. So we go to fxml, we go private label L1. So this is the part that has to be the same, and it's giving me an error because it's not imported. But if you highlight over it, cannot resolve symbol label, import class java.fx.sceneControl, and it'll automatically add it. So now you can treat this object L1 like this element. Any method you call on L1 is like you're calling it on this element with FX ID. Well, it doesn't have L1 anymore, but let me update that for whatever reason. This software can be kind of glitchy, or well, the way it's set, not IntelliJ, but the sample.fxml and scene builder can be. So now that we have our label created and can manipulate it in this way, we're going to create our method that the button is going to use to manipulate the label. So let's just do private void manipulate label. Let's just call it that, manipulate label. You can name it whatever, not label. So label, and for its parameters we'll have action event, and we can just call it that. And since this is a void, we're now able to do any work. And this is how you'll manipulate these elements that you declare in the controller. We can do L1 dot, And then you're able to use any of the methods available for the label class. So let's just set text to, let's just do like FX. Let's just do a long FX. So now we go into our button. We've made our method manipulate label of action event, and then we just call L1.setText. We go in here, we go click on button, then we go on action, and then we paste the name of the method that we want to have execute. So if I were to run this now, we should be able to manipulate the text in the label and set it to FX. So let's run it. Oh, getting an error. What's it saying? Is this the error saying I don't know where this is? Invocation target exception. Hashtag manipulate label. So this is because I haven't linked. So controller sample dot controller, right? So let's run this again. So this is the error I was talking about earlier. Invocation target exception. Yep. So that's the importance. Like if you get some error, it's because you deleted your pane. This is another one of the lovely parts of working with the scene builder is stuff like this. So you've deleted this pane, and it will now be missing the FX controller. So if that happens, you can either make a new project or reference an old one. But let me, so we have this pulled up, FX, and then you can do this. Do this with any like combination of things, and you can just do regular coding in here, like if I wanted to keep a running total or just anything, int x equals 5,000, right? Or 500, not 5,000. Let me concatenate this in. So you can just do a whole bunch of like work and have it be reflected within the graphics for some variable. So if I run this again, fx 500. So this was the just quick tutorial on how to like get some code running and some like potential pitfalls with that. Good luck with this, and y'all have a good day.